My name is Jamie Lee. I am a registered lactation consultant, and I have been incredibly blessed to be the mother of 4 beautiful children. All of my pregnancy and childbirth experiences were unique. One thing that is common though with all of my babies is that they were all breastfed. What I would like to do is share some things with you that I think might make your journey into parenthood go a little more smoothly than what mine did initially. Our babies have conversations with us long before they speak words to us, or they can understand the words that we speak to them. And feeding our babies, that is so much more than just giving them food, because while they're in our arms, they're receiving that social interaction and emotional security. And in turn, they learn to trust and love us. Part of this trust is us as parents learning the language of baby cues so that we know when our babies are just awake and wanting to interact, when they're sleepy, or when they're hungry, or when they've had just enough to eat. So now we know that our babies communicate. How do we know what they're saying? Well, content babies will gaze at the world through wide, bright eyes and a relaxed little body. They are inviting us to interact with them. And this is an excellent time just to hold and talk to your baby. Just let them gaze at your face. And sometimes they'll move from that to starting to get hungry. And their first attempt to let us know that they're starting to feel hungry is they'll kind of smack and suck on their lips and kind of wiggle around. And next they'll turn their head towards objects brushing their cheek, and they'll open their mouth really wide. This is something we call rooting, and it is an excellent time to start a feeding when a baby is doing this, because the next thing they're going to do is they're going to bend their arms up and clench them tightly to their chest, and they're going to suck really hard on their little fists. And at this point, if we don't start a feeding, they're going to start to show signs of distress. And one of the ways they show signs of distress is to cry. It's usually more difficult to get a baby to eat well when they are distressed and crying. And when they get distressed and cry, we get distressed too. And it's just much easier to get that feeding going before things get to that level. So now that we know our baby's ready to eat, how do we know how to feed them the best way? Well, unquestionably, breastfeeding is the best way to feed a baby, and breast milk is the best nutrition for a baby. There's also times when babies are fed by a bottle. And since everything we're going to talk about with bottle feeding, it happens naturally when a baby is fed at the breast, so we're going to use breastfeeding as our model for bottle feeding today. We are always going to hold our baby while we feed our baby. This allows them to feel warm and secure in your arms. We can substitute a bottle for a breast, but we can never substitute loving arms for anything else. So we're going to take our baby and we're going to hold them kind of upright in one arm. They're not going to really be laying down. They're not going to be sitting completely up either. Just relaxed. So with the other hand, we're going to take the bottle nipple and we're just going to gently brush it across the baby's upper lip and allow her to draw the nipple into her mouth. And this is what a breastfeeding mother does naturally when she's latching her baby on. Then we're going to hold the bottle relaxed, almost flat in our hand, and this allows the baby to suck and draw milk from the bottle at their own pace. When we hold the bottle upright, it tends to let gravity force them to swallow a lot of food and a lot of air too quickly. And this is not something that breastfeeding mothers don't have to worry about. The baby just naturally draws milk from the breast at their own pace. Probably about halfway through the feeding, we want to draw that nipple back and just kind of watch the baby. What's the baby telling us now? Is the baby acting like he's content? Is he relaxed? Is he possibly sacked out of sleep? Or is the baby still searching, rooting with his mouth for more food? And if they are, it's okay. You know, we get that burp taken care of. Go ahead and we're going to lay the baby over in the other arm and we're going to repeat the whole process again. And this is something else that happens naturally with breastfeeding, as we feed on the baby on this side and then we feed the baby on that side. It's very good because it allows our babies to gaze at us from both directions, and this can help their eye muscles develop equally and properly. So if the baby turns away from the feeding or falls asleep, they are telling us they have had enough for now, and we're just going to consider the feeding over. Now they may sleep a little while and be ready to eat again, and that's okay too. So in this way, they can learn when they're hungry, they're going to eat, and to stop eating when they've had enough. Our babies are truly amazing in so many ways, and communicating with us is just another way that they show us they are truly amazing. Remember, when they are content and awake, they are inviting us to interact with them. When they're fussing and crying, they need our help with something. When they are rooting and smacking their lips, they're telling us, I'm ready to eat. So communication and love and trust, these are essentials in any relationship, and that's true for our relationship with our babies as well. And what we as parents need to do is just learn to trust them to set the pace, to tell us when they've had just enough.